Welcome to API Kitchen, where we cook up secure APIs. I'm confident Stevie, your chef de cuisine in this unique kitchen. Today we are continuing from where we left off on our quest to test APIs for a top API security risk called Broken Object Level Authorization, or like I like to call it, BOLA. But if you missed that episode, I got you. So click here to go back and watch it for yourself. Today, we have something truly special in store for you. But before we begin, let's take a moment to thank our sponsor for this episode, No Name Security. Their complete API security platform can proactively secure your environment from API security vulnerabilities, misconfigurations, and even design flaws. We appreciate their support in making this episode possible. Now, let's unveil what's inside our mystery box for today. Ooh, yeah, okay. We have something special today. Yeah, isn't this stunning? Now, this spice grinder symbolizes the refinements we will be bringing to our API testing techniques today. In some applications, instead of using predictable parameter values like incremental IDs, developers could employ globally unique IDs that you could call GUIDs to identify their users or resources. This adds an extra layer of complexity to testing for BOLA vulnerabilities. And in such cases, you need to adopt a different approach to test for BOLA. One method I like to use is swapping tokens, similar to the example that we saw in our last episode. Additionally, you can also check for endpoints that return IDs belonging to other users. For instance, an endpoint that allows us to post and comment on others' posts might inadvertently expose the GUIDs of users who have commented. Now take a look at this example. We have a GET request that retrieves comments on a post. The response includes the GUIDs of other users who have commented, which can be leveraged to test for BOLA. Let's see the code for this example. And here's the response. In this example, we see that the server is exposing the user ID of others in the response. We can leverage this to actually test for BOLA. Moving on, another aspect of BOLA testing involves group IDs. Now, APIs often use group-based authorization to control access to certain resources or functionalities. Let's say you're working with an application that allows the creation of groups or companies. There might be an API endpoint that retrieves information about each group or company. With a GET request like this, you can retrieve information about your groups or companies. However, if you change group ID or company name while keeping the tokens unchanged, and you can still retrieve resources about other groups or companies, then there's a BOLA vulnerability present. Let's take a look at the code for this example. By changing the group ID or company name, but keeping the tokens unchanged, we can test for BOLA vulnerabilities. Lastly, let's talk about nested objects in BOLA testing. APIs often have complex data structures with nested objects representing relationships between entities. By manipulating the values in these nested objects, we can test for BOLA vulnerabilities. Here are a couple of examples. In the first one, we're checking how the API handles changing the ACCT_ID in the nested object. If the API responds with account information related to a different ACCT_ID, it indicates a BOLA vulnerability. In the second example, however, we are adding multiple objects in the accounts array to see how the API handles this type of request. Now, by sending these post requests, we manipulated values in the nested object. We can test how the API handles them and determine if actually there's a BOLA vulnerability. Now, here's how our sponsor, No Name Security, can help your API ecosystem become more secure.
It should be no surprise that API traffic has exploded over the past few years and now constitutes over 80% of the current internet traffic. APIs are now mission critical, ubiquitous, and represent a massively expanded attack surface. For this reason, No Name Security has made it our mission to help organizations across the globe secure their API estate. No Name offers the complete package when it comes to API security. To get started and learn more about each product, visit nonamesecurity.com.
In our next episode, we will discuss broken authentication and explore ways to test for these API security risks. Join us next episode as we explore another exciting API security topic and unveil a new mystery box item. Remember to subscribe to CCNet TV and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new episodes of API Kitchen showing each Thursday on CCNet TV. Until then, keep your kitchen clean, your code cleaner, and your APIs secure.